Calzones, yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay. A little bit too big, that's fine. We'll just cut it. Nice straight line. Thanks for making this caged animals. Thanks, bud. Okay. I want flour. Gotta flour your surface, which you're gonna be rolling your dough on. Otherwise, dough's gonna get all sticky and stick to the cutting board, and then it's gonna be bad. Ah, my mortal enemy. Twist ties. I'll flour our hands up as well. Bubble. Isn't that like a thing from the It movies? Like, Pennywise sitting there, he's like... Oh, hello! Snickers didn't like that. Anyways, should have cut up the things before, because now there's dough on my cutting board. This is a really easy recipe, and I messed it up pretty much at the only part I could mess it up. This is pepperoni. You probably know what it is, so I'm not going to explain it to you. And we're going to add some mushrooms, some peppers, some red onion. Is this red onion? Yeah, that is red onion. Good. And mozzarella. Fresh mozzarella. Cut that up. Then you remember that you're only making the meat one for yourself, and that you just cut up too much. So you give one to Snickers. Freddy can also have one through her hole. There we go. And the rest goes to me. Ow. You're gonna wanna make sure you wash your vegetables, because otherwise it'll be gross. And I'm gonna cut these nice and thin. Snickers is wandering around the kitchen in hopes that I will give her more pepperoni yum-yums. In fact, she's trying to smell it out and steal it from me up here. Oh man, I caught up too much pepper. Good. Now, even though I'm using tomato sauce, I also want some tomatoes in there, because I like tomatoes.
This is not a drill. Do not engage with the convict. Never trust anyone who likes tomatoes.
Washing off these tomatoes. Those weren't dried. Oh no. Oh no. They still weren't dried. It's always good practice when you're cutting tomatoes to use a serrated knife if you are using any other knife that isn't serrated and it's not sharp enough. And you'll just end up pressing down on the tomato, and it will, like, you get tomato juices everywhere, and it's harder to cut. Alright, now red onions. Oh no, I'm gonna cry, except I won't. Men don't cry. I shouldn't say that, probably. No. Remember Nyan Cat? So I quit McDonald's, right? And last night I had a dream that I was working at McDonald's, right? And it felt so long, like it felt vivid. Like it was the same amount of time that like an actual 8-hour shift would be. Anyways, and I woke up at one point and then I was like, oh, thank God that was just a dream. And then I fell back to sleep, and I went back to sleep, and my dream continued with my manager telling me to be like, all right, you're off your break now. And then I went back to work. And that was really unfortunate. But the dream ended with Herbie, like the car from Herbie Fully Loaded, crashing through the side of the McDonald's and killing everyone. So, thanks, Herbie. A general rule of thumb is you're not supposed to cut anything on the same cutting board as onions after you cut onions on them, I don't think, because then it like adopts the flavor of the onions. I suppose the only scenario that would come up in is if you were like a professional chef in like a kitchen In which case you're not watching this for, well, you're just not watching this, period, but you're not watching this for the insightful advice that I give. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to do something with the mozzarella, because it's just sitting in water, but I'm not sure what. So I'm gonna give it its own cutting board. I'll just shake off all of the yummies. I feel like that's gonna be a lot of cheese. Maybe not. Plunk that back in. Edit your little squishy, gross liquid sound effect that you like to use so often. Why is the floor wet? Oh, because that was tomatoes. I remember that. Alright, now that we got all of our ingredients ready. I don't have all of the ingredients ready. I hate tomato paste. There's a little trick you can do with the tomato paste though. Is if you open both sides of the can, then you can like use the back of the can and press it out. Charles' face is genuinely in awe. Are we out of oregano? That's gonna be a lot. So you're using oregano and basil. And I'm putting them in the tomato sauce. Still wet on the floor. I haven't cleaned it up, but I continue to step in it every time. And I have to divide these into two. So I'm just gonna... Yeah, that's roughly two. Shush! No! Shush! No! Okay, now you want to press this to about 1/4 of an inch thick. You can also, if you're a real gamer, do the thing with the hands that the Italians do. You're also going to want to preheat your oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, which sounds like it's going to be hot. And it will be. And I don't really know if these are going to burn, but that's the temperature, so they're not as circular as I want them to be. Do we own a rolling pin? We do not. Yeah. Now it doesn't stick. Put your ingredients on the calzones. Don't forget that part. It's pretty important. First step. Sauce. Ooh, that might have been a lot of sauce. Oh well. Despite putting too much sauce on the first one, I immediately put too much sauce on the second one too. Meat's only gonna go on one of these bad boys. Alright, mozzarella time. I might have cut this mozzarella a bit too thick. Not fun. Peppers, yummy. Freddy is looking up all of the tomato water I spilled. Good job. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I made these way too full. Because now I have to like flip them over and seal them. Yeah. It's almost like calzone shaped. Oh boy. Okay, well, these look a little bit different. So you want to make like 2 little cuts in the top so that way heat can escape, so that it doesn't turn into like a bomb inside of your oven. More like these are gonna be the bomb, so might as well. Okay. And you're gonna want to also dress the top of them with some olive oil. Final step. I guess I'm grating Parmesan cheese. I didn't really want to. I don't really like grating Parmesan cheese because it's scary. I want to cut my finger off. I don't know what you want to add there, but I'm sure you'll figure something out. And then you just sprinkle some Parmesan on top. Oh yeah. Now I'll just put those in the oven for like 20 minutes on 500 and they should be good. Okay, I'll throw it. They looking yummy. One of them looks, well, they actually both look, well, that one broke. Okay. Ooh, my parchment paper is about to, that's not the color parchment paper is. Alright, you have to let them cool now too. I took far too big of a bite. Yeah, they're good. I did it right this time. Bye.